Okay, this is part 55 of Nos4a2. Gravel driveway. His mother worked on the bike all afternoon. The sky was the color of a migraine. Thunder sounded once. It was a boom and bang like a heavy truck going over an iron bridge. Wayne waited for rain. None came. "Do you ever wish you had adopted a Harley-Davidson instead of having a kid?" he asked her. "Would have been cheaper to feed," she said. "Hand me that rag." He handed it to her. She wiped her hands and fitted the leather seat over a brand-new battery and threw her leg over the saddle. In her cut-off jeans and oversized black motorcycle boots, tattoos scrawled on her arms and legs, she looked like no one would ever call her mom. She turned the key and hit the run switch. The Cyclops opened its eye. She put one heel on the kickstart, lifted herself up, slammed her weight down. The bike wheezed. "Geschundelheit," Wayne said. Vic rose and came down hard again. The engine exhale blew dust and leaves out of the pipes. Wayne didn't like the way she threw all her weight down on the kickstart. He was afraid something would shatter, not necessarily the bike. "Come on," she said in a low voice. "We both know why the kid found you, so let's get on with it." She hit the kickstart again, then again, and her hair fell into her face. The starter rattled, and the engine produced a faint, brief, rumbling fart. "It's okay if it doesn't work," Wayne said. Suddenly he didn't like any of this. Suddenly it seemed like crazy business. The sort of business he had not seen from his mom since he was a small boy. "Get at it later, right?" She ignored him. She raised herself up and set her boot squarely on the kickstart. "Let's go find you, bitch," she said and stomped. "Talk to me." The engine ba-boomed. Dirty blue smoke shot from the pipes. Wayne almost fell off the fence post he was sitting on. Hooper ducked, then barked in fright. His mother gave it throttle and the engine roared. It was frightening, the noise of it, exciting too. "It runs," he hollered. She nodded. "What's it saying?" he yelled. She frowned at him. "You told it to talk to you. What's it saying? I don't speak motorcycle language." "Oh," she said. "Hi-ho, Silver." "Let me get my helmet," Wayne yelled. "You're not coming." Each of them screaming to be heard over the sound of the engine battering the air. "Why not?" "It's not safe yet. I'm not going far. Be back in 5 minutes." "Wait," Wayne shouted and held up one finger, then turned and ran for the house. The sun was a cold white point, shining through the low piles of clouds. She waited. She wanted to move. The need to be on the road was a kind of maddening itch, as hard to leave alone as a mosquito bite. She wanted to get on the highway, see what she could make the bike do, what she could find. The front door slapped shut. Her son came charging back, carrying a helmet and loose jacket. "Come back alive, right?" he called. "That's the plan," she said. And then as she was putting the jacket on, she said, "I will be right back. Don't worry." He nodded. The world vibrated around her from the force of the engine, the trees, the road, the sky, the house, all of it shuddering furiously, in danger of shattering. She had already turned the bike to face the road. She punched the helmet down onto her head. She wore the jacket open. Right before she let the handbrake out, her son bent down in front of the bike and snatched something out of the dirt. "What?" she asked. He handed it to her, that wrench that looked like a curved knife, the word Triumph stamped into it. She nodded thanks and pushed it down into the pocket of her shorts. "Come back," he said. "Be here when I do," she said. Then she put her feet up, dropped it into first, and she was gliding. The moment she started moving, everything stopped shaking. The split-tie fence slid away on her right. She leaned as she turned onto the road, and it felt like an airplane banking. It didn't feel as if she were touching the blacktop at all. She shifted into second. The house dropped away behind her. She cast a last glance over her shoulder. Wayne stood in the driveway waving. Hooper was out in the street, gazing past her with a curious, hopeless stare. Vic gave it throttle and shifted into third, and the Triumph lunged, and she had to squeeze the handlebars to keep from falling off. A thought flashed through her mind, the memory of a biker t-shirt she had owned for a while. "If you can read this, the bitch fell off." Her jacket was unzipped, and it scooped up the air and ballooned around her. She rushed on into low fog. She did not see a pair of close-set headlights come on down the road behind her, glowing dimly in the mist. Neither did Wayne.